Hello guys, Mayday Media here. Got some stories you need to know about. I'm going to go over them real quick, hit them. I've got an Alex Jones video. He's going to talk about some things that are pretty important. And like, subscribe, help me out a little bit here. Trump gambled everything on a war, demands lower gas prices from oil companies. The reversal of the escalation shows who has the upper hand. We got Iran taunts that they deny negotiations. London airport is running out of fuel. We got other information here, some stuff you need to know about. Capital One says it's closed Trump organization accounts over money laundering concerns. Now, Capital One Bank has asked a federal judge to dismiss a lawsuit from the Trump organization over the closure of hundreds of bank accounts in 2021, arguing in new papers that the showdowns were the product of months-long anti-money laundering review, not retaliation for Jan 6 Capitol riot, as the Trump family business have claimed. In a motion to dismiss the case filed Friday in Florida federal court, Capital One's lawyer wrote that the bank's own filings at the Trump's business allegations make clear that Capital One closed plaintiffs' accounts for anti-money laundering reasons. So they make it pretty clear, like they were laundering money. And it's all legalese and all that crap. So, but they all do this stuff, and they just all need to be put out of the country, out of their misery. It appears the U.S. military accidentally killed everybody on board a civilian medevac flight in New Mexico. So listen to this here, and they sit there to tell you you're a conspiracy theorist. When the Federal Aviation shut down air traffic at El Paso earlier this year, nobody could have guessed that an experimental high-energy laser weapon was the cause. After days of chaos and speculation, it was revealed that Customs and Border Patrol officials had fired off laser volley from a U.S. Army base adjacent to the El Paso airport. Now, they say accidental, but through the trigger-happy Border Patrol grunts, he evidently thought they were firing at drug smuggling drones. The real target turned out to be the kids' party balloon. Regardless, it was later reported that the cutting-edge weapon was taken for a test drive a week before FFA Pentagon officials had a chance to discuss how the safety implementation of the laser device, making it a small miracle that nobody in the air was killed. Okay, the horrifying incident happened in May, the Republican reports, when a small twin-engine Medpac aircraft carrying two pilots and two medical workers departed from Roswell. Two pilots and two medical workers departed from Roswell, New Mexico, heading west for Small Mountain Valley in Ruidoso. I how to say it. The crew became the victim of an electronic warfare exercise. So these guys leaving from Roswell, New Mexico, which is a nuclear waste dump, by the way, happened to be hit with this experimental laser that, they just now have got. Yeah, right. Number of regular people being arrested for protesting data centers is astounding. They are taking people down. So far in this U.S., Futurism has counted at least 37 arrests stemming from the protests related to data centers this year. There were an additional 12 cases where police intervened to prevent protesters or speakers from confronting civic leaders, though in reality that number is likely much higher, as these cases aren't as likely to make the news. Yeah, exactly. Take the case of the 42-year-old Pablo Payan, a maintenance manager from Indiana. During a public meeting in May he held, discussed plans to erect a massive Amazon data center in the city of Hobart. Payan refused to identify himself for the record before speaking, resulting in an attempted removal by police. As officers were escorting him out, Payan says he asked why he was being removed, which prompted officers to place him under arrest for criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. And that's just one case. There's no telling. I live in Illinois. I believe there's 404 that they're known and more coming. And I don't dare protest anything in Illinois. I've tried a business once. Trust me. Big mistake. Russia sends World War III threat to attack U.S. and UK. We can kill you anytime. I don't know if I so much believe they can kill us at any time or whoever. And I'm not so sure I even believe if they sent this or not. That's generally, haven't seen that too much. Russia's state media has broadcast a chilling threat towards Britain and other Western leaders, with a political commentator claiming that keep living only for as long as we allow it, as he urged Moscow to confront its enemies through the language of strength. So it's a commentator talking about this stuff. Russia could probably get to some people. Make no mistake, they could do some major damage. But if we got our shit together, it wouldn't be nothing. I would rather work with Russia and just have stuff, oil, things like that. Furious Trump is considering moving Pirro over reflecting pool, filing sources say. Now, this lady here, Jeanine Pirro, whatever how you say her name, he wants her to indict and put that Olympic guy in jail whenever he really, I mean, there's no evidence that he did anything. In fact, there's evidence that Trump rushed the job and screwed it all up. And now she's saying no, she's not going to do anything. And now he's wanting to get rid of her and calling her, what was that? All that, she felt like a lead balloon or something like that, or she snapped like an umbrella. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's kind of a tyrant, and we might need to be looking into the impeachment window. Something. I mean, you can't do these things here. Choked and folded like umbrella. I mean, you can't force somebody to just go after some. And then how bad does that look? I mean, really. I mean, it's just I mean, my goodness. You even think that would get out? You wouldn't even want nothing like that. But I think he's went crazy and lost his mind. All right, here's this Alex Jones deal.
Failing in this war, in the end, to discredit us and to kill Trump's earlier plan, because Trump did have a different plan. Trump was doing a bunch of good. That's why I was a wild-eyed supporter his first 4 months. Then we saw the Epstein cover-up. Then we saw, now they pulled Movino off and stopped basically the accelerated deportations. Now they're blaming the DHS for that when really it's Trump. That's another thing Trump does. He orders all this stuff, and then Kash Patel and Bongino and the rest of them, who I'm not defending, but they shouldn't get the main blame. It's Trump. This is Trump. This is what Trump wants. This is what Trump's doing.
Real time, uncensored, unstoppable. AlexJonesLive.com. Take a stand. Share the link.
Do you want to fight? You better believe you got one! I want to bring in Harrison Smith here and put some bookends on the spiraling Iran war that even the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Financial Times admit, and Army websites, I mean, the Army Times, Military Times, is now a world war. Now, we've done this for a while, but the fact it's being admitted is huge. All these proxy wars that come out of it, the expansion of the war, you see it everywhere. And just the desperateness of putting brakes on this and being beaten over the head with billions of dollars of Israeli brainwashing money, trying to gaslight Americans into supporting this, but 80+% don't support it. 60+%, almost 70% of Republicans don't support it. I mean, so it's not that we're even dumb, it's that we don't control Congress because of AIPAC and other issues. This is insane. And Israel's destroying its name in the world, but they don't care. Trump is destroying the Republican Party's chances of midterms, but they're still moving forward. Everything we've warned of is here, Harrison. I hate to say we're vindicated, but I point that out so that people listen to us when we warn of what's coming next if this isn't turned around. Global depression, total war, national draft, mass starvation. I mean, this is just insane, Harrison.
Yeah, well, and it's not exactly like it was hard to predict. I mean, this was all kind of obvious, almost inevitable the way that things were going. I mean, it was something like 2 days after the initial attack on February 28th, and I went live and I said, I think this is probably the biggest mistake anybody's ever made. And I really don't think I was over-exaggerating it. I mean, from the disaster of the economic fallout that's going to be coming, I mean, we've only started to see the effects of this already from what's already been done. The fallout's going to be horrible, and they just keep going. And I've got like two headlines that sort of tell the whole story right here, right? Trump says Iran talks to begin today, right? August 3rd. Meanwhile, Iran denies negotiations with the U.S. after Trump announces talks for Monday afternoon. It's complete madness. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Nothing, is being done successfully on the American side. We seem to just be digging the hole deeper and deeper. I remember my parents telling me as a little kid, if you're, digging a hole, stop digging. Like at a certain point, just stop digging. You can't dig your way out of the problem that you've dug your way into. And that seems where we are now. I don't think it's a coincidence that you have Ceuta popping up on, the world stage at the same time that you have the Sazan Island and the Albanian catastrophe at the same time that you have, like Michael Yon always says, that this is about roots and resources. Oh, I'm having some
might be
crazy
rough
glitches
to
there.
get vegetables and things like
but
that.
Yeah,
so prepare yourself.
It's as bad as it could have possibly ever been, and it seems to only be getting worse, which is maybe a little bit oxymoronic, but that's where we're at this point. And I was just thinking about this because we laid out last week that it was Israel really behind the invasion of the Spanish enclaves in Africa, which again the whole claims about that are absurd unless you also want to say Alaska belongs to Canada or Russia and Hawaii belongs to Japan. Just because a nation has possessions that are not geographically connected to it, these are absurd claims. Oh, it's in Africa, therefore it should belong to Morocco. This is ridiculous. And everybody knows it's ridiculous, but it's the excuse needed. And that's the other thing about the Israeli money flowing in is I don't think they're actually trying to convince anybody because they're not really convincing anybody. It's not really working. If they wanted to, actually improve their reputation worldwide, they have to change their actions. The rhetoric isn't enough to overcome the absurd actions out of Israel for so long. So really what they're doing is they're just sort of playing the long game. They're buying up TikTok, they're buying up CBS, they're buying up more and more, intellectual properties and outlets so that they can tell their story. So, they're going to do it no matter what. Nobody wanted this Iran war at the beginning. Nobody wants it now. Nobody wanted World War I or World War II. Guess what? We did it anyway because the people at the top wanted it. And sure, they'll spread their propaganda to try to get the American people on board. But in reality, it's about creating the false impression of manufactured consent. If they can just put across the perception, the perspective that everybody is behind this, then they can, forestall any major reaction to their actions. So I don't think the money being spent by Israel is actually helping them convince anybody. It's just sort of helping them drip feed out lies that will later be leaned on. In history, they'll look back and say, well, everybody was, happy with war in Iran. Everybody, all of America got together to fight this evil enemy. And they'll look back and reference articles being written right now and posts being made right now that are completely disconnected from reality, but help to tell the narrative. And so really, I think the thing to understand is you were at war. There is a war against you. Every American is in this war. And I used to say it about you all the time, Alex, that, because people would ask, they'd go, well, Alex, do you really believe everything they say?
It's an information
say,
war.
Yeah, basically, yes. And look, it can sound crazy when you got a guy, running around screaming at the top of his lungs like the bombs are falling. But once the bombs start landing, you go, oh, that guy wasn't crazy. He was, if anything, a little bit too calm. He should have been more, aggressive in getting this message out. That's how I feel we are now. We're at war. I actually did a long episode on Friday, it started here on the show going, it feels like I'm in the Blitz. It feels like I'm in Britain, in London, during the Blitz. And I'm going, guys, I think we're at war with Germany. Bombs keep falling. Houses keep blowing up. I think we're at war with Germany and we should respond. And everybody goes, well, that's germophobic of you. How dare you hate Germans like...
What we need to do is be at war with our city workers, and I'm not meant the workers, but the politicians, the state politicians, the federal politicians, county politicians. These people are running crap into the ground. If you look into your own statistics, into your communities, you're going to crap yourself. And if you Google, say, certain religious churches around your area, you might find a little more than you ever thought. And then Google data mining centers in your state and look at how many there are. I'm in Illinois, man. It's like 404, I think, was the last number. Now, Illinois is supposed to be getting more and more flooding weather and all this stuff. There's reports on that. But people got to get figured out. We got to find some place to go and just get away from certain bad people if we can. I don't even know if we can.
That. Or, each bombing is treated as an individual. You know, it can't be expected. Maybe the
The
pilot
chosen
just had
ones.
mental
If we could get
problems.
rid of the chosen ones,
We can't even get
80% of our
80%
problems
Americans
are
against the war.
gone.
So
in
overall,
3
we have gotten them to be awake, or they are awake. But they don't understand that the wars, it's not just they're against a war over there that they know is pointless and that we're probably not going to win, and that's for Israel. It's that we're the targets. The world economy is the target of this by BlackRock and the globalists. Israel's a big component wanting greater Israel. They have the big lobby, but that's their end of the deal. For the globalists, they want this world depression. And they want America to end up failing in this war in the end, to discredit us and to...
He says globalist, but we know exactly who he's talking about, and that's all they've done throughout history of the West. Really, it's always kind of been them in the shadows, and I don't get it, but whatever, you know.
kill Trump's earlier plan, because Trump did have a different plan. Trump was doing a bunch of good. That's why I was a wild-eyed supporter his first 4 months. Then we saw...
Buddy, you were a wild-eyed supporter for Donald Trump since like 2015. After 3 months of Trump in office, I like took back all my support. This dude was like, holy moly. And Alex kept pushing him. That's one reason why I really quit listening to Alex Jones. I mean, after about a year after that, he was still Trump this, Trump. I mean, if you watch, you know how he was. I was like, man, I got to get away from you, dude. This guy is just another puppet. And here we are, you know, 10 years later. I mean, in trouble. Bad trouble. Anyway, guys, prepare. I think fall's going to be rough. Get yourself in order. Get your house in order. Serious. Bye.